Hello everyone, welcome again to Education Tatva. This is Anil. This is the next lecture in the series. We talked about the course introduction in the first lecture, and in this lecture, we are going to talk about installing open source as well as the enterprise version. So, to be able to download this, let me quickly show you like from where we can download it. So, first is if you need to download the open source version, you need to refer to this URL, which is flowable.com/open source. And to be able to download the enterprise version, we need to go to flowable.com. Here from products, you can download the free trial, which is available for 30 days on your email based subscription. And so this is where you can actually start and look at the services that they provide in the enterprise version. This is very useful in terms of like exploring their product, but there are some of the prerequisites that you need to download before even starting this. So covering that prerequisites, what you need to have, you need to have JDK 8 and above. So JDK is Java Development Kit information, where you need to have JDK 8 at least. But for the demo that I'm going to do, I'll be using JDK 11. And for maven, similarly, you need to, because this is something also required in terms of building your Spring Boot project and all. So that will we will be discussing later in the series. But it is okay to install this upfront while we are doing the setup and setting up the workspace. Then the third software that we will be needing is Apache Tomcat. So how to download them? There is a link you can directly download from their website. So for JDK, I'm using oracle.com and then JDK download page, where basis on your OS requirement, if it is Linux, you can go and download the Linux one. If it is Mac OS, you can download according to Mac OS. Similarly, I'm going to use Windows 64-bit installation package here, which I can download from this link. And then maven I can download it from this site, maven.apache.org. So here I'm using binary zip archive, which is Apache maven 3.6.3 bin.zip. Similarly, you can also download Apache Tomcat from their official website, which is this one, and you can download basis on your requirements. So again, I'm going to use 64-bit archive.
Okay, so as you can see here that we have downloaded all the required software. What we have so far, we have Apache Maven here, and then we have Apache Tomcat as well, and then we have JDK. So these three are the prerequisite software that I talked about. And then I also downloaded Flowable 6.6.0, which is an open source, and I downloaded it through this URL, which is download Flowable. So let's set this up. First is you need to install JDK 11. So this is very simple. You just need to click on it. This shows you wizard like this. Here, since I don't have much space on my D drive, so I'll just simply switch to D drive. Say OK, next, and this will install the component on D drive at the given path. This will take some time, and then the next thing that is important after installing JDK, you should always remember to set up the path in your environment variable. But I'll do along with the maven. So let's unzip maven as well. Right, so we have this maven. Let's take it outside, because this is the core package that we are going to use. Yeah, this is done. Now to avoid any confusion, I can delete the bin one. So what I have done so far, I'll quickly repeat. I installed JDK. So this is installation file, and it gets saved or it gets installed on your OS. But on the Apache Maven, this needs to be like unzipped, and its path needs to be configured in your environment file.
Right. So how to set up the environment variable for Java and maven? First, we need to go to this PC location. We need to navigate to the properties. You will see that this window will come, and then on the advanced system settings, you need to click and it will open up another window with system properties. You can click on environment variables. So here you can see like some of the paths are already set. Right. So here I have already noted down on what we need to do as part of setting up these variable. So you need to look at this screen. What we need to do is we need to set up Java path. So for Java home path, since I have installed this under D program files Java GTK 11 and then bin. So for me, like the location will remain like this while setting up the Java home. Whereas if it is a different location on your system, you need to be careful while setting up this. And then the next one is maven path. So maven path, there are three steps where you can set this up. One is you need to specify the M2 home. So for me, like since I have unzipped this under D personal trainings flowable installation, I'll be using this as a path. But this is completely fine in your case if you have installed it or unzipped it on some other location. Usually people prefer to go for C drive, and then in C drive they go for Apache software foundation folder and then unzip these Apache maven package. And then this is more like giving a quick path with relative to your M2 home, which we have specified here, and then providing you the bin path under this M2. And then the next step will be to add this M2 in your path location. So let's quickly see how to do that. I'm just putting this aside here on Java home. Let me copy this one. Here I replaced Java home. Similarly, I can see this Java home under the system variable as well. I believe you are already clear about the system variable. If not, so system variables, if any users is log in to this system other than Anil Bajpayee, which is my user, so there is possibility that one system can have multiple users. So this is most like if you want to do it for your user, you need to do it here. Otherwise, you need to do it under the system variable. I generally have a preference in doing both the system variable and user variable. Then Java path is set. Now let's quickly set the maven path. So what we need to do is, no, we don't have maven path set up earlier. So let's click on new and give it a name M2 home. Let's copy it from here. Provided variable value here. Said okay. So M2 home is already created in here. Let's create M2 home this place as well under the system variable so that other users, if they log in, so they should not be having any problem with the setup. Generally, it is not the case. I always use my system for my user. I don't have multiple users created in it, but this is more like a practice. It is up to you how you want to follow this. Then next one is M2, a relative path for M2 home percentage bin, all good here. Then similarly M2 bin percentage bin, and then there is a third optional parameter if you want to set this up. I'm not doing it for now, but this is more about if you want to specify the properties for maven. Let's check the path variable here. So in path I'll just create a new uh, variable and I'll just give the reference to my M2, and since it's a relative one, so I need to copy this with M2 like this. Similarly, in here we have path variable. Let's add new, providing the relative path. That's it. So let's check if this is even working or not. For that, what you need to do is you need to open the command prompt. Let's run this as administrator. Let's see if we are able to. The Java home variable is not defined correctly. This environment variable is needed to run this program. So seems like this is not able to find my Java home. Let's see what's wrong in there. Advanced Java home. So we have defined the D program files. This is fine. This is completely fine. This is also fine. Do we have Java home here? No. Let's add Java home in the path variable as well. The same step I'm going to do with this as well. Now let's relaunch the command prompt. Okay, I think this requires a serious fix. Let me do this. Right. I think I have identified. I'm not sure. Let me just give it a try once again. So seems like I just copied this complete path. It should not ideally have the bin location, right? So let's just quickly see together if it is that thing. So I ignored. Sorry for this. Okay. So I think this should go down. Let's quickly check. Here you go. So seems like this has picked up the maven bin. So how you can verify? You can run this command and see if the maven home is picked up correctly. So here you can see like maven path, what we provided, Java version, what we have provided. So all set in terms of setting up these two prerequisites. One is the maven home and the one is Java version. So these two are set up properly. What mistake I was doing? I was copying this up to the bin path. So just make sure that you are not repeating the same mistake, right? So this is how we have installed the prerequisites of JDK and then Maven. The next thing what we need to do is we need to install Apache Tomcat as well. So let's see how to do that. So under the installation, the next thing that we need to do is we need to unzip Apache Tomcat. So those who have previously worked on Apache Tomcat, they need to be they need to be mindful how to do this. Otherwise, I'll just quickly show you. Apache Tomcat is again this has a couple of folders like bin, configuration, library, logs. I'm not going much in detail what is Apache Tomcat's folder, but on a high level, Apache Tomcat is a server which provides you the capability to run some of the war files within its boundary. So it basically provides you the platform to run your web application. I'll come to it how to deploy any application on Apache Tomcat, but let's just quickly set the path. So for that, what we need to do is we talked about these three paths earlier, two paths and a Java home and Maven. So similarly for Apache Tomcat, what we need to do is we need to set up Catalina home. So Catalina home, and then we need to provide the Catalina home path for this, and the variable name should be Catalina home. Then we can call this as Apache Tomcat path. Okay, let's quickly do this. Go to the PC, properties, advanced setting. We have already done it multiple times, so I'm assuming like now it must be easier for you. So here is Catalina home, and here we need to provide the path. Path is copied in this. So we are not going to copy till bin. This time let's be careful. Catalina home. Okay, okay, okay. All set here. So let's quickly see what we have done. We set up three paths. One is for Java home. So first what we did is we installed Java JDK 11 version. Then we unzipped maven archive file into the location that is specified with m2 home variable. Then we unzipped our Apache Tomcat. You can follow the sequence, like Java home is the basic one, and then maven and Apache, these can be like go in parallel or in any sequence basis on your choice. So with these three things set up, you have the basic prerequisite in place. Now you can move ahead and go for actual installation of open source. So let's look at that. Okay, so in here, what we have is we have this Flowable 6.6.0 zip package. As I mentioned earlier, this is when we download the open source version, this comes in the package like this. What we need to do is we need to extract this here. Let's see what we have inside. It will take some time. Yeah. So under Flowable, we can see that we have a vars folder where they have Flowable REST and Flowable UI. So how they have packaged this is like everything which is related to the services, they kept it inside Flowable REST, and anything which is UI specific, they kept in a separate var, which is Flowable UI.var. What you need to do is you need to copy this. You need to go to this parent folder. Here we have Apache Tomcat that we just configured. Okay, I can see two packages are here. So seems like this was the unzipped version, and this is the path that we set. Let's verify as well. Yeah. So Apache Tomcat. So which means like to avoid any confusion, we can delete this one and we can utilize Apache. Now within web apps, what we need to do is we need to copy these two vars. Then from bin, what we need to do is there are some of the batch files, some of the .sh files. So to make you clear, batch file is more about when we are running Apache Tomcat on Windows machine, whereas .sh file are when we are using Linux based operating system. So let's see that we should have startup.bat. So what this startup.bat does, it actually runs your Apache Tomcat, and then those files which are copied in WebEx for the first time, this also deploys them. So as you can have a detailed look in here, we don't have any folder with Flowable REST rather than these two files are copied. But once it is deployed on Apache Tomcat, this will create a folder under web apps. Let's have a look. When startup.bat, I'm running it. So when you double click it, you will see that if all the paths are correct, this will start deploying your WAR file, and it will also make your server up and running. So you should look at if any issues or the logs coming in while Apache is starting. So as you can see that this is saying deploying web application archive. So var stands for Web Application Archive. It may ask you if you're running it for the very first time. It can give you a pop-up like this, allow access. This is important. Right. So as you can see that Flowable engine is starting up. This is based on your Spring Boot. So the messages is still very clear, like Flowable version 6.6.0 is running on Spring Boot. Yeah. Flowable REST is starting. So what it does, basically Flowable is Flowable is a BPM, and this engine itself is enabled through some of the database table. So as you can see, this is going too fast, but if you will look at them, these are running the scripts. These are actually creating the tables, but where it is creating this table. So since we have not provided any path specifically for outside the database, it is using in-memory S2 database for this to run. We will also be talking about in upcoming sessions what are these tables, and we will also talk about some of the important tables. But don't touch any product tables, because this is not a recommendation from the product owners. They don't like expect you to do any changes in the table. Even they are not expecting you to like even do a select query on these tables. So please remember this disclaimer, that this is important not to judge any table. They have provided extensive REST web services for any kind of usage, so that where you can do the customization up to a certain level, right? But they like to be able to like protect the consistency of their product. They don't like recommend you to go for it. So as you can see that Flowable UI is starting, it has completed. This will give you a message that everything is done, and this will yeah, successfully acquired change log, and it is running some of the queries which are also part of the product. So what you need to do, you need not to like read all these lines. What you need to do is you need to just look at that. If any of the errors coming in, there may be some of the common errors, like if you have like Apache or any other services running on port 8080. So there are chances that you need to change the configuration in one or the other server instance. But if that is not the problem, so you can see that this is running on 8080. So okay, so to be able to launch this Flowable open source, what you need to do is you need to write localhost 8080 port number and then Flowable UI. So let me just type this again: http localhost 8080 and Flowable UI. This will launch up this screen. So there is a basic thing when this logo like this is present. So this talks about the open source version of Flowable. If it is red, it will talk about the enterprise. I'll highlight this point while we covering this enterprise version. So here is admin and test, which is the default username password. You need to click on it. This will take you to the page. Um, so they have certain applications like task application, modeler, admin, IDM. This is the basic UI for open source. I'm not going much in detail as of now. We will be covering this a little late when we are covering this open source in detail. So, but this is the agenda, like to show you how to reach up to this open source. What I have done, I'll just quickly recap. What we did, we started with the prerequisites. We installed JDK, we installed Maven, we installed Apache Tomcat, and then within Apache Tomcat, what we have done is we unzipped Flowable archive. We found the war files within the wars folder. We copied this within Apache Tomcat web applications folder, web apps folder specifically, and then from bin we started startup.bat. This is what we have done so far, and then you should be able to launch this localhost 8080 Flowable UI. What username password that we have provided, it's by default admin as the user and test as the password, everything in lower caps. You should be able to launch this screen. Please let me know if you are facing any issues. I'll try my best to even sort it out for you. But yeah, I think this is what it covers open source installation so far. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to install Flowable Enterprise. So here Enterprise, I'm meaning with the trial version of the Enterprise. So for that you can go to flowable.com. As I mentioned earlier, if the icon is green, this is more talks about the open source community and open source version of Flowable. But when this icon is reddish, so it's talk about your enterprise version. So what you need to do is you need to go to products, you need to go to download free trial, and then as you can see that it is asking you to register now. This will like ask you a couple of details: first name, last name, email address, country, and company. So you can provide that accordingly, and then you need to provide some of the basic details and verify that you are not a robot. That is important. And then when you click on it, it will give you the license key on your email, and then it will also download the package for you. So let me show you, because I have already done this activity. So let me just show you like what license file it shows you on the email. Right. So once you register in there, what you get is you get I'm not sure whether this will work or not, or what I'll do, I'll just download another version with another ID for this demonstration, because this looks already expired. It started 31st January. So, but anyways, for you to learn, what you can do is you can provide your details on the Flowable page that I showed earlier, and then what it will do, it will give you the mail. Sometimes it may come on your spam or the junk email box. You need to search with Flowable trial license. It will be from admin@flowable.com, and then you should be able to see this mail with the download software name. So let me just download in parallel. Okay, and then there is a welcome guide for you to start. They have very fantastic blogs and the forums. Go and check it out. But yeah, and this guy is I like this guy. This follows me on Twitter and LinkedIn, and this is like the owner, or the co-founder of Flowable. So then at the last of your email, you will be able to see that this Flowable license comes up. So this is important for you to actually download, because this is required for you to activate their trial version of the product. So make sure that you download this version and don't share it with others, though it's a trial one. But yeah, for like maintaining the confidentiality, it's always better not to share this. So to be able to install Flowable Enterprise,
we have downloaded this package. So Flowable Engage 3.8.4 is the package for your enterprise version, and then here is your license. Let's look at it, what we have inside. So when we unzip this, we see that there is a Flowable folder, and you will notice that bin and tomcat. So this is work in progress. So these are the folders after you unzip Flowable Engage. So you will have ActiveMQ, you have bin, you have custom, Elasticsearch, and Tomcat. So the enterprise version comes with Apache Tomcat as part of like inbuilt package, whereas for open source you need to download Apache Tomcat explicitly, right? So if I run this, how to run this, first I'll talk about it. You need to go to bin, and you need to double click on this startengage.bat. This will run all the required services to make enterprise version up and running. But there is one catch. If you have the open source or Apache Tomcat running like we have in this window, so this will not make startengage.bat up and running. So for that, what you need to do is you need to shut down this one, because it is again running on 8080. So for that, what you need to do is you need to go to your bin folder of Apache Tomcat, and then you need to go to shutdown.bat. So startup.bat is to make your Apache Tomcat up and running, and shutdown will make this sleep. So let's click on it, and as you can see that the services are shut down after clicking on shutdown.bat. Now let's try making your enterprise version up and running. So Flowable Engage and Flowable, no need to set any path, because that is the benefit of going with their enterprise version. they will expect you to do minimum work. So as you can see that this has picked up your Java home. It is loading Flowable web application. This will take a couple of seconds, and this has opened up another tomcat window. So one is your command.exe, which is running your tomcat instance in parallel. So these are like for whatever implicit services these that there are required, this will take care of running all these services. And in the background, once this is up and running, it have even launched your the default browser and started running your localhost. So just look at it. This is deploying the var, and at the same time it has launched localhost 8080 to make your Flowable up and running. So this is your enterprise version, and since there are like minor versions of open source, so Flowable open source, this is because ultimately these both are running on a same engine. The only thing, the customization and some of the out-of-box functionality that they have enabled on enterprise version. And when we will be like covering them in detail, you will also realize that underlying engine is same, but some of the functionalities are differentiating based on like the dashboard and the reporting kind of a feature available in enterprise, but not in the case of your open source version. So that's where in upcoming sessions we will be covering enterprise first, so that you will be able to correlate more, because I understand some of you who are watching this may not be aware much about the BPM world. So it's always good to like go for the easy thing first and then look for the deeper or the complex version of the product. So here, as you can see, that this all is powered by Spring Boot services. Spring Boot they have utilized, and if someone asks you like what are the capabilities of a Spring Boot, so you can tell them that this is the beauty of a Spring Boot, where such lightweight engines of BPM can be hosted, and these are like taking care of industries standard applications. So these are like heavily powered, and when from the user experience, these are like very easy and lightweight. So this is again deploying some of the vars. So the vars are like Flowable design.var, Flowable engage. So this Flowable enterprise also come up with some of the core component, very similar when we talk about open source. It has certain modules. Similarly, when you when this will be up and running, I'll show you quickly, like it also come up with some of the modules which you can like when you will be familiar with both the versions, you should be able to map them. Actually, this takes some time because for the first time when it is up and running, it sets the ground, it does all the manual thing that we did, right? So this, since it's enterprise version, it is setting all those configuration file, all those required parameters which would we were doing in explicitly while setting up the environment variables and etc. So the only thing there where you should be watchful, it should not basically break your application while running it. So mostly this is if you have port conflict, it fails there. Otherwise I didn't see any particular issue in terms of making this enterprise version up and running, and the vice versa as well for comparing it with the. Okay, so here it says no Flowable license found in database. This is what is important, that I told you that this license key is important and you need to like apply once this version is up and running. I'll show you how. Okay, so yeah. And again, this is utilizing your S2 database. Until and unless you are not providing any specific database, they all will run on your S2 database, and it creates all the required database tables. Similarly, as in the case of open source, the enterprise version also does the same thing. It may take some while. Let me just take a pause here. Right, so it has installed all your required libraries. This is running on 8080. So underlying it's Apache Tomcat, which is providing the services to this as well. So this launch this launches your localhost 8080, and you can see that this comes with your red icon, which shows like it is an enterprise version. So what you see as a warning here, that you will need to upload your license the first time you use Flowable. You can do this from the same settings dialog by selecting license. So there are multiple ways where you can provide the license, but here just need to read through what is Flowable Engage, what is Flowable Design and Control. So Flowable Engage is the business interface for case and process application. So this is the place where you need to start Flowable Engage for the first time with the user admin, and the password is test, right? And I'll show these features, what it means. And then Flowable Design is more where you just treat this more like a modeler, where you write your case management decisions or BPM process. And then Flowable Control is more about the administrative control. So let's log into the Engage and see. I just clicked on the open, and it has separate URL, and this all applications are actually supported by your Angular framework. I provided admin as the user and test as the password. So with this I can, like, let's do the first thing. Let's upload the license. So for that, what you need to do is you need to click here at the bottom of Flowable admin. You need to go to the settings, and then you need to click on the license. It will ask your license file. So let me give that path. Okay, so here's the path for license. Let me browse through the file, and that's it. So I have given the channel name educationtatva. Similarly, you can provide any company's name. As you can see, the license is valid till April 3rd, and this, since we are starting today, so I've just used my new email ID to be able to connect with this. So let's upload. Okay, we have already uploaded this has taken my license. What we need to do is we need to cancel this. Now if we go to the license again, we can see our license is hosted, all set up here. Let's refresh this page and see if the warnings are coming. Okay, so seems like we have this is showing like for the first time it needs to be done, and we have already done this, all set. So similarly, like, we will talk about all these Flowable Engage, design and control in detail. So the purpose of this session was to install open source as well as the enterprise version with all your prerequisite setup. I'm assuming like you should be able to follow me. Let me know if you have any challenge. You can comment in here. And also the last thing that I want to mention at the end of this session, it is important to follow me while I'm like doing any setting or doing any hands-on. This will make your knowledge more firm, and you will feel more confident. So, and feel free to like comment if you have any issues. I'll try to solve them, and that's it. And the next session that I'm going to talk about will be as per my course introduction. So if you have not gone through, so you need to go through the first session of this playlist, and you will be able to know like what all topics I'll be covering. So the first one in this session, installation part, is complete. So that's something for today, and then I'll be like seeing you in the next lecture. We will be going to the next level, and we'll be doing some serious stuff and designing a sample application, and then understanding some detailed concept of BPM and other things. So thank you. Please like, comment and subscribe to this channel, and let's make this more interactive. Thank you.